Hello and welcome to Autistic Changeling. Today I'm going to do a video that's sort of more of an introductory, what is autism, and talk about social issues a little bit. And this is going to be part of a series. I'm going to talk about other aspects of being autistic as well, and that way people who don't know very much about autism can watch these videos to get better understanding so that they have the context for future videos that maybe are a little bit more complex. So, from a technical perspective, autism is a pervasive developmental disorder, which means that it's something that is pervasive, it affects every aspect of who you are, and it's developmental. So you're born autistic, you die autistic, and you're autistic the whole time in between. If someone says that they or someone they know was cured of autism or that they caught autism, that means that the person in question was either never autistic to begin with, or has learned to pass sufficiently that even though they're still autistic, they've managed to convince other people that they're not. Or that if someone says they caught autism, that it just didn't get noticed, or that there's something else and they're not really autistic. You can't catch or get cured from autism. You're autistic your entire life. So that's one thing. So I'm going to talk about social differences that are associated with autistic people. I think social differences are one of the main things that allistics or non-autistics tend to notice when they think of autistic people. And I think that's because a lot of the other aspects of being autistic can manifest as social differences. And a lot of social differences due to being autistic are actually the result of other elements of being autistic. This isn't true for all of them, but for example, some autistic people avoid eye contact because of sensory issues, or body language will be different because of stimming and that kind of thing. And I'll talk about those sorts of things, sensory issues and stimming and whatnot, in a different video. So that's certainly one thing to consider. Another complication when talking about autistic social interactions is that a lot of autistic people make a conscious effort to interact in ways that allistics will find more comfortable. And in that way, a lot of autistics are accommodating allistics, because we make differences in our interactions to accommodate the fact that allistics aren't used to interacting with us. So, for instance, this might look like an autistic person faking eye contact by looking at someone's eyebrows or forehead, or it might look like an autistic person intentionally avoiding info dumping around someone that they don't think they can safely info dump to. Or it might look like an autistic person making a conscious effort to emote in ways that allistics know how to read, because the allistics in question might not be able to read the autistic's natural ways of expressing emotion. And this is something that I think people don't always pay attention to or realize that we're doing, but it's certainly something that a lot of autistic people do. And this isn't something that comes without cost either. Doing these sorts of conscious accommodations takes energy. And it's not possible to keep them up all the time for most people. So if someone does have to put a lot of effort into passing as allistic, then it's probably going to take a toll. And that's one of the causes for an autistic burnout, which is basically when someone, it's not the only thing that can cause it, but it's one of the things that can contribute to it. So that's something to consider. I don't remember what I was going to talk about after that, but that's fine. We'll move on with it. So anyways, that's certainly one thing to think about. So these types of differences in social interaction can manifest in a variety of ways. I've already talked about eye contact. Nonverbal body language is something that is often different between autistics and allistics. And it can manifest as differences in facial expressions and tone of voice. Allistics might assume that autistics tend to have just a flat affect and no tone of voice, but there's also autistic people who have a greater tone of voice and maybe more of a sing-song quality, or autistic people whose tone of voice varies from time to time, whether they're tired or not, that kind of thing, and same with facial expressions. Another thing to note is that autistic people might express emotion in different ways than autistics are used to reading. So, for instance, stimming or repetitive behaviors can be a way of expressing emotions that autistics might not know to look for. So, hand flapping, for instance, can express happiness or discomfort depending on the person and the type of movement. And there's lots of other things as well that can express those sorts of elements of feeling that other people might not know to look for unless they know you well or have interacted with other autistic people and are open to ways of communication that they don't personally experience a great deal. So all of these differences in nonverbal body language are one major aspect of autistic social differences. I think the other is differences in how autistic people understand relationships and how we understand the rules of social interaction. A lot of autistic people have difficulties understanding the rules that allistic people might take for granted. And I know I play it safe in social interactions. If I'm interacting with someone, I'll try to avoid situations that I don't know the rules for. Which might look like I'm not interested in interacting with people. It might look like I don't care about or want to interact with people, but sometimes it's just that I don't know what the rules are, and if I, take an example of someone offering me something. Someone's brought food and they're offering me something. I might, I'm vegan, so chances are I won't be vegan and I'll turn it down for that. But, in this hypothetical instance, maybe I turn it down because I don't know what the contract I'm entering into is. Do I owe you anything in return for accepting this? But I know I can't ask. I've picked up on that much, so I'll turn it down because I know that that's safe. So I think this kind of thing is something that other autistic people might also struggle with, and other similar aspects. When to consider someone a friend, when it's acceptable to talk, and when it's acceptable to info dump, and how to tell. And these kinds of things are another aspect of social interaction which is different between autistics and allistics. And a lot of autistic people find it easier to interact with other autistic people than to interact with allistics because we have more similar ways of interacting, which is the reason that autistic and allistic people have difficulty because our natural styles of communication and interaction are different. But this doesn't apply to all autistic people. Not every autistic person is going to be able to seamlessly interact with every other autistic person because autistic people are also diverse and we also have a wide range of communication styles, just like allistic people can't all seamlessly interact with each other either. So I think this covers a lot of what I wanted to talk about, and these social differences are things that aren't solely on the autistic people. It's not solely a deficit with us. And it's not really a deficit with allistics either. It's just differences in how we interact that make things more complicated. And that is what it is. But I think it goes more smoothly when people are open to communicating with each other and to recognizing that other people might not always communicate in the same ways that they do. And that can be tough. So if you think I missed something or you have something else to contribute, please feel free to leave it down in the comments. And if you liked this video, please feel free to hit the like button and to subscribe, and I hope you have a great day.